Here, and welcome to Mindfulness Practice with Paul Sugar. It's good to be with you today. So let's jump right in to our practice. We're going to do our traditional 2 warm-up exercises. So it's kind of like going to the mindfulness gym. In fact, our 8-minute practice today is going to be some very simple, basic mindful movement practices. And I'll introduce that after we do our 2 warm-up exercises. So let's begin with our mindful smile, which is combining the attention to the body, thoughts, emotions, and breath while we're smiling. So big smile for 15 seconds. All right, so that's our mindful smile. And now going into our 2-minute mindful breath. Let's do that together, and I'll guide you through that practice. This is a very key practice with mindfulness, is the mindful breathing. So here we go, assuming a comfortable position, the attitudes of alert attention and self-acceptance. We want to accept who we are in this moment. And then either with our eyes open or closed or glancing down, sitting, standing, whatever you want to do, just assuming a comfortable position. And then bringing the attention to the breath. And with mindful breath, we breathe in and out through the nose. Science has told us that nose breathing is the way to keep the nervous system from getting stuck in that stress mode. So staying with the breath. If it's helpful for you, you can silently to yourself every once in a while say breathing. Sometimes when we name what we're paying attention to, it's very helpful. Breathing. Also noticing when the attention wanders. That's a big part of the practice. Noticing when it wanders, where it wanders to, and then bringing it back to attention to the breath. Each repetition like that, you're building up that mindful muscle. The mindfulness gym. Breathing. Noticing the movement of the lower abdomen, that area below the belly button. Noticing how the breath moves up into the upper torso, the shoulders, and then rolls back down again. Just fully experiencing the breath as it is in this moment. Staying with the breath, bringing the attention back whenever it wanders, using that to hone our mindfulness skills. Breathing. Just noticing how the breath is naturally, no need to change anything, just that natural breath. Okay, mindful breathing. So, as I mentioned before, today's 8-minute practice is going to be mindful movement. Some very, very simple stretching exercises that we'll do together. And of course, we'll do it with our eyes open. Mindful movement is very, very important. Most people emphasize the meditation practice with mindfulness. And that's fine because it's one side of that two-sided coin. But the other side of the coin, and a very, very important side of the coin, is bringing mindfulness into daily activity. And movement is one way that we can very effectively bring mindfulness into daily activities. Lots of different activities that we do every day, but we always seem to be moving. And so that seems to be a good common denominator. The danger of overemphasizing meditation is that we end up being present and feeling peaceful and de-stressed when we're meditating, but then the rest of our day kind of breaks apart. And I've seen that happen with many people over and over, and we don't want to fall into that trap. So doing something like movement or any other activity is a great way of building that bridge so that we have a seamless transition between the meditation practice and then our everyday life. That way, we have an opportunity to build up the skill set where we can be present 24/7. And that's really what we want. We don't want to just be present for the meditation practice, whether it's 10, 20, or 30 minutes or whatever. We want to be able to be present 24/7 and eventually just transition into those flow states so that we can really experience our life more deeply. So I'll guide you through these very simple stretching exercises and also combine it with the same skill set that we use in meditation. You'll notice that my guidance will be exactly the same as when we're meditating, only it'll be when we're moving. So let's start with a very simple exercise to loosen up the muscles in the neck. And so just turning the head back and forth, left and right, and noticing your range of motion. You always want to stay within that range of motion so as not to hurt yourself. Your muscles will open up by themselves, and then you can gradually accentuate each movement as your muscles begin to open up and limber up. So keeping the attention on the neck muscles right now, just like we do with the breath and meditation. Fully experiencing those neck muscles and also noticing when the attention wanders and bringing it back to the neck. Once again, another approach that we use during meditation, which we're also using in activity. Okay, and then coming back to neutral. So we'll do another neck stretching exercise. This is a little bit different, and it stretches the neck in a little bit of a different way. So this time we're just going to tilt the head back and forth. So you'll notice that we're using different muscles in the neck, the muscles that actually go up into the shoulders. So keeping the attention at the neck and experiencing that present moment attention while we're moving. Once again, building that bridge between our meditation practice and our everyday activity. It's important to set that intention and to practice it so that we don't get stuck just being a meditator. So feeling that stretch in the neck. Once again, staying within your range of motion. And now we're going to tilt the head diagonally. So it's another neck exercise. So tilting the head 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock, back and forth, 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Keeping the attention right here. Notice if the attention wanders, where does it go? And then coming back to the neck. And now the other way. So 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Connecting to the body through that present moment attention, through fully experiencing the stretch that we're getting with this neck exercise. This is very, very simple. And it's important to know that it's the simplest exercises that are the most effective. That's why there aren't that many mindfulness practices, really, because it all boils down to some very few, very simple practices that we just do over and over again. Always wanting to keep your practice simple, because that's the shortest distance between 2 points. Okay, and then bringing the head back to that neutral position. Let's take a breath or two, a mindful breath or two, keeping the attention with the breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. Okay, so next let's focus our attention on the shoulders. So the neck and the shoulders are usually the first repository for stress. That's usually where we experience the most stress for some reason or another. So with this shoulder exercise, let's raise our shoulders up, roll them forward, and then lower them down and bring them back. So essentially we're making a circle with the shoulders. So keeping the attention with the shoulders, you're right there, and just rolling the shoulders. It's that present moment attention that will naturally get rid of that stress for you. You don't have to try to change anything. All you need to be is present, and your body will respond. It will de-stress for you without you having to really do anything proactively other than just be present. Once again, a very simple concept, but a very, very important concept. Very, very effective concept. So rolling the shoulders with that present moment attention being focused on the shoulders. And once again, like in meditation, noticing when the attention wanders off, maybe it goes to a thought or an emotion or a different part of the body, but keeping it with the shoulders. Okay, and now the other way. So rolling the shoulders the opposite direction. Just getting some movement in the shoulders. A lot of us have stiff shoulders because stress has settled in there. So it's good to get the movement going there, get the blood flowing, get the energy flowing in the shoulders. If you want, you can coordinate the breath with the shoulders. It's not necessary, but some people like to do that. Okay, so one more shoulder exercise. Let's just sit for a moment, attend to the breath. Breathing. Okay, so now putting your hands on your shoulders and then bringing the elbows together and making big circles. So it's a little bit different, but it's still shoulders. So rotating the shoulders in this manner, keeping the attention right here. And just fully experiencing the shoulders as we do this rotation movement. And now the other direction. So when we combine this stretching and movement with mindfulness practice, we get a great result. Great result. The body feels great, stress levels go down through that practice of mindfulness. Just simply being present and connected to the body is all it takes to lower those stress levels and keep us from getting stuck in that stress cycle, which so many of us end up being stuck in that stress cycle, sometimes for decades. Okay, and then dropping the arms, and let's attend to the breath again. Breathing. Okay, so the next one and the last one is an exercise that I do with my fingers. A lot of people who have carpal tunnel issues like this exercise. It's something that I learned when I was practicing Tai Chi. This is one of my Tai Chi warm-up exercises. So all we do is we flick the fingers like this. Just flicking the fingers and then turning 90 degrees. Flicking the fingers, keeping the attention with the hands now. Fully attending to the hands and then turning another 90 degrees. And then turning another 90 degrees. So this is a great exercise. You might begin to feel it in the forearm now. So we'll just kind of shake out the arms. Okay, and then back to the breath. Attending to the breath, fully experiencing the breath, connecting to the body using the breath. It's all about staying connected to the body. All right, very good. So that's our 8-minute practice for today. And I guess we have about enough time now. It's 4:20, so we have about enough time for one question. I see a few of them coming through. Let me see here. Okay, here's somebody who is having self-esteem issues. So how can mindfulness help me with my self-esteem issues? Okay, that can be a complicated answer, but I'm going to stick with first principles here and stick with keeping it simple. What I've discovered over many years of practice is that at the root of self-esteem issues is fear. Fear is the culprit with a lot of the issues that we deal with, and particularly self-esteem. In fact, I would classify low self-esteem as being one of the many iterations of fear. And so, as we've discussed many times before, mindfulness, the key component to mindfulness, is that it directly addresses fear. And how does it do that? And we've discussed that before. But the way it does that is that it keeps us from getting stuck in that stress mode, from getting stuck in fight or flight, where you've got that predominant emotion of fear constantly being present. Not many people know it, and this is really something that should be taught in Biology 101 right in the beginning, but so many of our autonomic nervous systems get stuck in the fight or flight mode for extended periods of time, which means that we're walking around with the fear, the very specific fear that comes up during fight or flight or any iteration of it. One of them is low self-esteem. Another one could be anger or anxiety or frustration or depression. These are all iterations of that fear. And so by practicing mindfulness, it keeps our autonomic nervous system limber, keeps us from getting stuck in that fight or flight mode, keeps us resilient and flexible. So we stay away from the fear. And I think that you'll notice that as the fear abates and as you are able to stay connected to the body in the present moment, keep that nervous system in good shape, you'll find that as the fear abates, so will your low self-esteem. You'll just start feeling a lot better about yourself because that low self-esteem won't be getting animated and energized by that fear. And so that's why I like to stick with first principles and keep it simple, because that's a very accurate description of really what causes low self-esteem. So I hope that helps you. All right, and looking forward to the shirt of the day. Yes, indeed. So let's finish up. We do bookends. We always start with that mindful smile, and we end up with the mindful smile, bookends. So 15 seconds of combining that connection to the body, thoughts, emotions, and breath as we're smiling, following the trail of the research, which tells us this is a good thing to do. So here we go. All righty, and I see we've got some appreciation about teaching about fear. I'm glad that was helpful. Very good, very good. All right, so I'm sorry I didn't have time to get to more of you today, but hopefully next time I will. So great to spend time with you, great to be with you, and I'll look forward to being with you next time, which is next Tuesday, 4 o'clock Arizona time, every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 o'clock Arizona time. You take care and have a mindful day. Bye-bye.